Nyas, Dhyan, we will continue. But let us pick up some understanding of the mind. That mind becomes the doer, enjoyer, sufferer. So now how it becomes the enjoyer and I'm very happy. So it is the mind that is happy. It is an experience happening in the mind. It is my mind, but I'm not my mind. So when the mind gives me an experience, I'm happy. Thank you, stay with me. The next moment, the mind says, I'm miserable. Stay away from me. Refuse to be miserable. No, no, I'm not my mind. It is the experience of the mind. Think, contemplate, 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 contemplate. So it is the mind that identifies with I. This is one way of saying it. Other way of saying it, the mind superimposes on my true nature, true real I, and claims happiness, claims miseries, claims suffering. It becomes the enjoyer, doer. It happens in three stages, three levels: physical, subtle, and causal. Or you may say intellectual. I'm thinking, I'm thinking, so I'm a thinker. Am I a thinker? But the thinking is done rationally by the intellect, not by me. Intellect is my instrument, Vijnanamaya Kosha. Mind is running, running crazy. It is Manomaya Kosha. It is my instrument. Take an example. I'm not my car. If the car breaks down, I do not break down. If the mind says I'm crazy, I am not. Tell the mind, you be crazy. It doesn't matter to me, I'm different from you. The way I'm not my car, but it is my car. The same way, it is my mind, but I'm not the mind. We have to drop that little identification. And in that little identification, there is a tremendous ignorance. In that ignorance, we have been living for millions and millions of years. How can I be, if the car breaks down, how can I break down? I don't. I repair, get the service done. So, where we are moving, it means I need a proper service and maintenance to this mind, which creates a veil. It covers the my real I. First, it covers the real I. Then it claims I'm the real I. It becomes the enjoyer. It becomes the feeler. It becomes the sufferer. that mind is seeking a permanent happiness. Other most important point, remember that all the time. In this prananyasa dhyan, this mind is running in the world outside to seek permanent happiness. Is there anything outside is permanent? There is nothing permanent. My husband, my wife, my car, my money, my house, nothing is permanent. So when I understand with that awareness and the mind is running, I enjoy, continue to run. I know permanent peace and happiness lies beyond you, the mind, beyond the body, beyond Panchkosha. That is why we need to understand the Panchakosha clearly. When there is a clarity, when there is a conviction, and the mind is running outside, thank you, mind. Let me take rest. You continue to run. We play with the mind. We need to work on the mind. So, in the prana nyasa dhyan or meditation, we strip the mind of its prana and we allow the prana to rise above. But returning again. So, mind is constantly changing, it is seeking permanent happiness. Mind, I become my mind as a feeler, as an enjoyer, as a doer. That too is constantly changing. That mind is searching permanent peace in the world outside. The world outside is constantly changing. So when I have a clarity, clear understanding, I need not to do anything. I live into that state of understanding. So mind says, I want to sleep. Okay, sleep. Mind says, I am experiencing pain. It is the mind that is saying I'm experiencing. All the experiences happens in the mind. I'm different from the pain. I'm different from the mind. I'm different from all the experiences of the mind. Why? The mind is constantly changing. Just now it will say I have a pain, and the next moment it said I have a pleasure. It receives pleasure from a person for a couple of years and then it leaves that person and finds pain with that person. So, mind, I know your nature, continue your journey, and when you don't identify with the mind, when you mind is doing the nyasa in something beyond, we enter into that state, that state of the mind. So, that is what the Viveka is. That is what the Viveka is. That is the Viveka. So, when I am the doer, recognize mind is the doer, I'm not. I'm Satchidananda. When the mind is when I'm the enjoyer, the mind claims I'm the enjoyer. No, mind, you are the enjoyer. I'm different from you, separate from you. When you are sufferer, miserable, I'm not with you. So when you are not with the mind at the times of mind giving you an experience of suffering, what happens? The very intensity of suffering in the mind drops. Why? 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 Because when you are into that state of viveka, it is like electricity goes into the bulb and lights the bulb. Now electricity is not there. Bulb is useless. Mind is useless. Continue to suffer, no problem. But when that real I is not identifying with the mind will have no energy, no intellect. The intellect is given consciousness. The intellect borrows the consciousness from the real self. Mind borrows the consciousness from the real self. Body borrows the consciousness from the real self to see the world outside. Mind says, I'm suffering. Continue to suffer. Stay away with me. Like a play. The mind says, I'm very happy. Okay, you are allowed to stay with me. Still, you switch off that electricity that lights the bulb, that lights the mind, that lights the intellect, that lights the body in different situations. You don't become the doer, you don't become the enjoyer. All experiences of misery, suffering, pain, pleasure, likes, dislikes, hate, do happening in the mind. I'm not the mind. So this prana nyasa dhyan does this. Let us start our practice. Close